Hello everyone and welcome to what will probably be just a little short unboxing of CP60 for Marvel Crisis Protocol, the Rogue and Gambit box. This, along with the rest of the new mutant releases, Colossus, Magic and Juggernaut. It's a mystery as to whether or not you'll ever see it this year. I believe the new ETA for some places is the end of February next year. But thanks to my friend in Belgium, I was able to pick up the Rogue and Gambit box. I had hoped to have all three to show off in the one video, but the only place I could find Juggernaut and Colossus, etc. was via eBay from Poland, and it seems like they used the cheapest possible shipping method, so who knows when they're going to arrive. So rather than wait, I thought, why not just do a box unboxing on these, because they're two characters I like from the old 90s cartoon, and I want to get to assembling them. Also, I know in advance that there's something bad about this box because my friend bought them as well in Belgium, and I hope it's not a trend going forward. I hope it's the result of a mistake that they caught too late in the process, but I guess we'll see. I'll talk more about that once we get unboxing. So let's crack in and see what we have. We have a mission based on those symbols, probably what's the map type that uses all five? I don't remember. I think it's B. Right, now here we go. Hang on. As you know, I enjoy, also yeah, protective cardboard, who cares? I enjoy casting supreme judgment on assembly instructions, and I take it as a personal attack that there isn't any. There is none. And what there is instead is, whoop, some nice package shots and the art from the cards. And I read this first. So you've got a QR code. Stop. Before assembling, use the QR code to visit atomicmassgames.com/docs. Download the assembly instructions. Be sure to use a pair of sharp hobby clippers to remove the miniature components from the sprue. Carefully clean the excess material and mold lines. Blah blah blah. Check the fit of each part before gluing. Use a small amount of hobby plastic glue, etc. Yeah. So this might be because they caught a mistake in their assembly instructions and were like, what can we do? We don't have time to reprint more, it would delay it even further. Let's just do this instead. This could also be them desperately trying to save cash for when they start doing multi-language, because they're starting to support multiple languages other than English next year. Either way, in theory, it's fine. However, in practice, with the way Asmodee runs their companies, their US distribution, their European distribution, their UK distribution, it doesn't work. When my friend got this legally, entirely legally, it was released on the day it was supposed to release in Belgium, he scanned the QR code, didn't work. In fact, I'm not convinced it works right now, because it's not released in America yet, and the website is the American domain. So he had to assemble these without any instruction. I guess he technically could have waited, but why should he? He bought it legally. This is terrible, and penny pinching to a disturbing degree, assuming it wasn't just because of an error. I wonder if I can scan this right now to see if it works. Yep, it does scan properly in terms of going to the page, and these are all the old boxes. Let's see, we're getting to She-Hulk. Where's the new releases? Omega Red, okay, yeah, there's a Convocation. For some reason MODOK's down here. They're not in order of release, I'm quickly realizing, but is there Gambit and Rogue? Maybe? Because I think you can get these in America now, it's just the other two that aren't available yet. And until I get the other two, I don't know if this will be a new trend. If Colossus and Juggernaut, if they're like this as well, where you've got to scan a QR code, yeah, they're not on the page. So we're out of luck until they're officially shipping in America, I guess. So apparently they're not super hard builds. At least there's that, but what if they're... can you imagine the Hulkbuster gets delayed? Well, the Hulkbuster is delayed in America. Can you imagine if that had happened and then literally the rest of the world all got their Hulkbusters first, but they just had to sit there because it's a complicated build, because the QR code wouldn't scan, because they refused to let the assembly instructions be available prior to releasing in America? I don't know. I thought this game was doing well enough that they didn't have to penny pinch this degree. It already surprised me how cheap they made the new stat card look for multi-language support. It's a little disappointing. Can't hide my disappointment, and not just because I like making fun of their assembly instructions. Anywho, I apologise for going off on one, but I was anticipating it. I'm really curious if this is just a one-off mistake. and it was like, what else can you do? In which case, fair enough, fair play. But either way, let's see here. This is Gambit's Sprue, which I think is in focus. So we've got, let's see, 2 halves of torso, 2 legs, the thing he's standing on, which is dust, I think? Dust, yeah. His head is missing his hair. Where is his hair? There's his hair for some reason. So the hair onto head, chest onto there, that probably onto the back of that. That doesn't look too bad. That looks fairly self-explanatory as far as assembly instructions. Incidentally, as much as I might criticise them doing this with assembly instructions, Knight models haven't been doing assembly instructions for years. It's annoying sometimes, it's confusing sometimes, rarely, but I'm used to it. It's not the best way to do things at all, but still. So this is the wreckage of, I think, a Sentinel that Rogue is smashing out over something metallic. She's holding a power core, I think. So that's her leg shooting out there. There's her other leg, it's got speed lines on it. Where does that go? Oh, that's part of the fire, I think. She also needs to have her hair attached. That's the back of her, and that's the front of her. Again, not too bad, and you get your normal assortment of bases as well. Alright, let me crack open the cards and get them safely out. Alright, there we go. The cards stayed inside. There we go. So that is 5 markers for whatever objective, 3 Gambit themed markers, 1 Rogue themed marker. That might be connected to their tactics cards. Speaking of their cards themselves, we'll go over that last. So first of all, we have the mission. It's a 20 threat one, good. I like choices for high threat values because those make the better games. Superpowered scoundrels form sinister syndicate. Place 5 ambush tokens. Map AF, that's the one with the 5, map AF. 1 victory point for each ambush you secure during the cleanup phase. Well, who's on this picture? I'm trying to see. I can't quite tell who that's meant to be. I think it's just generic soldiers, but I can't tell which allegiance they are. Maybe someone can tell me. Either way, characters contesting an ambush token have cover from attacks made by characters not contesting ambush tokens. That's neat, so you don't have to be the one claiming it either. Okay. So then we have our tactics cards. We have Charming Thief, great art. Pardon me, Sugar. Yep, that's fine. Mind if I cut in, which is great art as well. Dark Past. That's a lot of gems. Okay, Dark Past, it's a unaffiliated reactive. During the power phase, Gambit can play it. This round, when an enemy character is within 4 of Gambit and uses an active superpower, he gains 1 power after the effect is resolved. Power Thief. Speaking of, pardon me, Sugar. Oh, good grief, this is the Gettysburg Address. Unaffiliated active. During Rogue's activation, she may play this card and select one of the following. If Wolverine is within 2, Rogue gains healing factor 2, and Wolverine takes damage. If Cyclops is within 2, Rogue can use Optic Blast, and then Cyclops takes 1 damage. If Storm is within 2, add 2 dice to all of her attack, and then Storm suffers 1 damage. If Deadpool is within 2, she can choose an enemy character within 2, and they lose 2 power, and Deadpool suffers 1 damage. If Magneto is within 2 of Rogue, she gains cover against all attacks against her this round, and Magneto suffers damage. And the interesting part is, it doesn't matter if they're your teammate or the enemy, I guess. Because it's just, yeah, if this chosen character is within. It doesn't say they have to be an enemy. Okay. That's neat. It's obviously very in keeping with her mutant powers. Mind if I cut in? Rogue can play this card. This round, when an enemy character is choosing the target character for a non-area, non-beam attack, and Rogue is in range and line of sight, the enemy character must pay 1 if they do not attack Rogue. Okay, so she forces people to either pay more power or focus her. Dark Past. It's an unaffiliated reactive. In the power phase, if your squad is not using Uncanny X-Men and still has Gambit in it, you can play this card. Each character within 3 of Gambit gains stealth until the end of the round. That's a neat little benefit if you have them in like a Brotherhood team or, I don't know, X-Force or anyone really. Alright, so that just leaves the cards. So these have already been shared. I think Rogue's card got shown off at the most recent event. 3 threat, 4 threat. Let's start with Gambit. I like Gambit. He's fun. Let's see here. 5 health, medium move, size 2, 3 threat, 3/3/3 across the board. He's got his basic bow staff attack. Range 2, 4 physical, generates 1 power on use, and if it's size 3 or less, pushes away, right? Yes, away, small on a wild. Then he has Kinetic Ace, range 3, 5 physical, 0 power as well. After this attack is resolved, gain damage equal to the damage power equal to the damage dealt. And it does the explosive rule on wilds, which is enemies within 2 suffer 1. And his best attack, 52 card pickup, which is what his special attack was on the Knight Models Gambit version. Beam 4, 5 dice energy, 4 power to use, and it has a wild flurry of cards roll. When making this attack, each wild in the attack counts as 2 successes, which is very potential. I mean, if the dice is on your side, of course, potentially exceptionally damaging. That's interesting. Accelerate charge. During the next attack action made by this character, add 2 dice to the attack roll for 3 power. He wants power for a lot of his good stuff, it seems like. A little something extra for 1 power. After you roll attack dice, use the superpower. You can change 1 hit to a wild. So assuming you're willing to spend 5, you could combine it with 52 card pickup to guarantee at least 2 successes instead of 1. Enhanced agility for 2 power. When an attack targeting this character is resolved, use the superpower. The attacking character suffers 1 damage, and then you get to back away small. It's fine. And on his flip side, I believe nothing changes. He stays 5 health, and I think literally everything else is exactly the same from what I remember. The art is good. Yeah, other than that, he's the same. Alright, Rogue. His better half. 4 threat. You've got to be good to be a 4 threat these days. Anna Marie. 6 health, medium move. 4-3-3 for her defenses. Absorbing Strike is her basic. 5 dice physical, range 2. And before attacking, you can choose if it's physical or energy. After this is resolved, gain power equal to damage dealt, and it has sap power on wilds, which we've seen plenty of times before. Southern Hospitality is our only other attack. Range 2, 7 dice physical for 3 power. And if the target character is size 4 or less, you chuck them small. That's good. That's a good attack. That's hefty. She's got your basic charge action for 2 power. Marvelous Strength. Haha, I get it. For 3 power. Choose an interactive terrain feature size 4 or less. That's large. Within 2, chuck it medium. You can only use it once per turn. That's really good. She also wants a lot of power to play with. These two would do well in a Magneto Brotherhood team. Anyway, Mutant Absorption for 2. So remember, this is different to that tactics card, but you could have both. Choose an enemy character within 2 and roll 5 dice. The chosen character loses power equal to the number of hits, crits, and wilds. If the chosen character would lose more power than it has, it suffers damage for each power it could not lose. The chosen character does not gain power for the damage suffered from this attack, or superpower rather, and you can only use it once per turn. That's really good, and it's cheap too. Although if you're spending tons of power on doing this, you're never going to have enough for Marvelous Strength and Southern Hospitality unless you have power gained from somewhere else. And then she has Kree Mutant's Physiology because of her Marvelous Strength. When this character would suffer damage from an enemy effect, reduce the amount suffered by 1 to a minimum of 1. She can also fly, thanks to Marvelous Strength, and has immunity to poison. Did Gambit have any of that? No. Okay, and on her flipped side, she stays at 6 health. Her defenses stay the same. And I believe everything else stays the same. Mutant Absorption, Marvelous Strength, Charge, Kree Mutant Physiology. Yeah, she seems like a really decent 4 threat that just needs to be fed power. That's why I say like both of these two feel like they do really well in a Magneto-led Brotherhood team, because he can just wreck scenery, feed the power into them, help them with their because they don't have any natural power gain beyond the beyond the normal. And Gambit's bow staff is a flat 1. His kinetic ace isn't, and that's range 3, I suppose. 5 dice physical. Her base attack is a 5 dice physical and can sap power. I guess because of the sap power, Rogue might not need it as much, but if she has lots of power to play with, oh, the things she could do with this tool set. That's really good. So yeah, that is, I ended up blathering for a lot longer than I thought it would, but that's the Gambit and Rogue box. I'm looking forward to getting both these two on the table. They were amongst my favourite characters from the old TV show, the cartoon. And I apologise for not being able to show off Juggernaut Colossus Magic. Hopefully before the end of the year I'll be able to do that. If not, then early into next year. Just depends how long stuff takes to ship from Poland. And hopefully the QR code strategy is not a permanent thing, because it's rubbish. And hopefully there's just no super complicated builds that release elsewhere in the world before America, because otherwise you just have to sit on it and wait. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing these two on the table soon enough. And I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.